Yo, what's up everyone? Here we are for the Crafting Dead Season 2 recap. And a little disclaimer, I probably do sound a little bit different compared to like the Season 1 recap. And the truth is, when I made the Season 1 recap, it was like a while ago, back in like 2024. And that's when like I was gonna put these recaps out to like hype up Season 7. But at the time I made the Season 1 recap, I didn't even have the script for Season 7 done. I didn't have any of that done. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't have anything planned. And I kind of wanted to put the recaps in between like the season so there's not much that wasn't like I wanted there to be stuff on the channel for the year 2024, and honestly there was nothing that year. Like it was complete radio silence for that whole year. And then I dropped the 5 year Crafting Dead anniversary and then like the announcement and all that. So it went like that channel went a whole year without even getting a video. The recaps were supposed to come out, but I want these recaps to be before Season 7. I want them to like refresh your mind. I didn't want the recaps to drop. Everyone would watch them. They're like, oh yeah, refresh our mind. And then Season 7 would drop next year and everyone would have to rewatch the recaps. So that's why I kind of withheld the Season 1 recap to drop it before Season 7 comes out. So if you're seeing these recaps, Season 7 is close. There's not a trailer definition of close. Like the trailer's not out yet, but that means Season 7 is pretty close. And that means that the trailer will be out soon. I'm not giving a date. I don't know the date yet, but Season 7 is close. It will be this year of 2025. So whenever that is, it'll be out. You'll see the trailer. The trailer will give the release date for the season, and I'll release it like normally, an episode a day until all 7 episodes are released. But that's not the point. I'm here to recap, refresh your mind on the story. I'm gonna be honest. Season 2 is probably my least favorite season. Like I'm not saying that it wasn't fun, but in terms of story, Season 2 was kind of not really that much happened at like the start. It's kind of like it's kind of boring, but it gets a little bit better at like the end of the season. But it's still part of the story. Like we still call back to the season today, like during the more recent seasons. Like we still have conversations about it. But the season is kind of it's kind of lackluster. It's my least favorite season, but it's still a season that I made, and at the time I was proud of. So I'm not gonna completely bash it and just trash talk it. But yeah, here's the Season 2 recap. Season 2 starts off with JoJo on night watch, getting prepared to go back inside the house. Once he does, he sees Fire and Lucas messing around. JoJo interrupts them and tells Lucas to go on night watch since it's his turn. JoJo then asks Fire what they were talking about, and Fire says that things have been awkward since him and Lucas met. Shortly after, JoJo goes to sleep. When he wakes up, he walks outside to Fire and Lucas waiting outside. Lucas tells both of them about the group he was a part of and how they have a lot of loot in the main part of the city. He then tells the both of them about someone named Nikki, which is the leader of the group on the other side of the city. JoJo then asks Lucas if he is saying that they should all go over to that side of the city and possibly risk dying. Lucas says there is a good chance they will be fine, and Fire goes to JoJo and whispers some words, which makes Lucas try to start an argument with him. JoJo tries to stop it and asks Lucas what the plan is, and Lucas says not many people are in the group and they might have a good chance of just sneaking around them because two of the people in the group aren't really that smart. He follows that up with saying if they all need a fight, then it's not really a bad idea. JoJo then says they can just try and talk to them, and Fire brings up how they shouldn't really try and start problems with the people because zombies are already enough as it is. This slowly starts to cause another argument with Lucas, saying they won't have any supplies to stay alive, so they need to make a move. Fire tries to make up with Lucas and say they both need to apologize to each other, but Lucas just replies with no. JoJo says they should try to reason with the group and just try and make them an ally so they can ask for supplies later down the line if necessary. When they all walk away, JoJo starts to whisper to Fire and says if Lucas is lying, they may have to hurt him just in case something goes wrong. They all continue down the road, which leads them into a long tunnel. At the end of the tunnel, they see a barricade with someone watching. The person starts to hesitate and calls for Nikki to come over. Fire starts running towards the barricade, but JoJo tells him to stop. Now that they are closer, Nikki notices Lucas is with them and says, "Look who it is. Lucas came crawling back to us." Lucas then tries to reason with Nikki and even apologizes, but then Nikki says, "Sorry for what? You killed my girlfriend." Jojo and Fire get shocked by this info, and even Fire threatens to kill Lucas, but Jojo stops him. Nikki then comes out from the barricade to talk to them. Fire starts talking to Nikki and saying they both have something in common. They both don't like Lucas. Then he proceeds to say that himself and Jojo come in peace. All while this conversation is going on, Lucas is hiding in the back. Jojo then convinces Nikki to let all of them through and to let Lucas stay alive, and he says if Lucas even tries to pull anything, he'll stop him himself. Lucas then quickly runs up and says that he was framed for killing his girlfriend, so all of it was a lie. Fire starts to add to the flame by saying stuff to Lucas, which starts another argument between the two, but it's shut down by Nikki yelling at all of them to hop over the barricade. Nikki then says if Lucas tries anything, they will kill him on the spot. Fire hops over the barricade while Jojo and Lucas stay back. Lucas starts whispering to Jojo saying whatever Nikki is saying about him to not believe him because he is flat out crazy. Fire then calls for the two, so they both hop over the barricade. This episode starts with everyone walking out from the tunnel. Another person then walks from around the corner. His name is Zolan, and he meets everyone. While talking, Nikki yells at Zolan to go back to his post and makes him run off. Nikki continues to show off every building until they walk up to a hotel and says this is where everyone will be staying at. Fire agrees with that and everyone moves on to the next building. The next building they are shown is a storage building that has a lot of supplies and is also boarded up. Jojo then suggests to Lucas they should go pick out a room in the hotel, and before they do that, Lucas asks Nikki if they still have the no weapon rule. Nikki replies with yes, and Lucas drops his weapon to Nikki, but Jojo and Fire lie about not having any weapons. And Jojo and Lucas go into the hotel to pick a room while Fire goes to look for Zolan. Jojo then goes to sleep and wakes up in his room and notices Fire and the guy at the barricade talking. The guy's name is Dragon. He also notices Fire dyed his hair again to a different color. On his way down, Jojo comes across Nikki and they have a little talk about Lucas. Nikki asks Jojo what Lucas said about him, and Jojo says he wasn't really told much besides how he was just kicked out from the group. Nikki then says that Lucas stole from the group and also was the reason his girlfriend died. Jojo doesn't really believe Nikki and says he seems like a nice guy, and just Nikki tells Jojo not to trust him. The next scene has Nikki walking into Lucas's room, threatening him, saying that he killed his girlfriend and how he stole. Lucas then says he did steal, but he didn't kill anyone, which results in Nikki threatening to kill Lucas. Lucas says that if he does die, then everyone's going to turn against him. Nikki then says he's going to keep Lucas alive because he likes Jojo and Fire and doesn't want them to just not trust him if he kills him. Nikki then leaves the room after giving Lucas another warning, and it cuts to Jojo walking up to Dragon and Fire, talking to each other, and quickly after walking up, a baby zombie just runs out of nowhere and attacks Fire. It makes all three of them retreat into a nearby building that is just pretty high up. Since Jojo and Fire don't want to reveal their weapons, they don't fight any of the zombies with Dragon. When they all get up there, Jojo suggests they just wait it out and hope that the zombies leave them alone when they wake up. While waiting, Fire says they should fight them off, but since Dragon is a kid, they don't really think making him fight alone is a good idea. They then proceed to hide inside the building, but then Fire wants to talk to Jojo. Jojo then says he pulled his weapon out, but he doesn't really think the kid seen him pull it out, so it doesn't matter too much. Fire also brings up how just being on the island was a better idea than staying with this group because they really can't trust anyone. They both realize that they are trapped in the building for the time being, so they just head back inside. This episode starts with Fire running outside and Jojo following. When they walk outside, they see more zombies are surrounding the building, and that's when they start to just look over the edge. When Jojo sees Lucas inside the hotel, they just start screaming for him, and when he wakes up, they tell him to go get Nikki. Lucas and Nikki run outside and try to distract the zombies and get them away from the building. Jojo tells Dragon and Fire to get away from the edge and just wait a bit. After they wait a bit, they start to run down the stairs, and When they get down the stairs, there's just zombies everywhere, and everyone is hesitating and running. They're running in between buildings, around the buildings, while zombies are just chasing everyone. It's really chaotic. Everyone finds their way back to the hotel, but while heading inside, Jojo sees Lucas trapped inside a building with a bunch of zombies surrounding it. Fire and Jojo get inside the fence that surrounds the front door of the hotel, and while trying to wait for Dragon and Nikki, more zombies just pile up on the door. Nikki and Dragon show up and they run to the back where a ladder is located. They climb the ladder to the roof where Jojo and Fire meet them. Jojo starts saying they need to find a way to help Lucas, and Nikki says that he's gonna die, so we should just let it happen. Fire follows up on that, saying it's not really their problem and Lucas got into that situation himself. Fire then adds if Jojo wants to go save him, then he can go himself because no one is going to go with him. Dragon jumps in and says that Lucas did save them all. They then all look at the building and Jojo says the zombies may break through the windows and get inside. Fire says it's either we risk our lives and we die or only just one person dies, which in this situation that one person would just be Lucas. Jojo then says there are a lot of zombies running around and he suggests they should probably just wait until the next day to save Lucas. No one agrees with him, so he says he's just gonna wait till tomorrow and go in alone if he has to. Before Jojo walks away, Fire says he will go with Jojo and then they head to bed. When Jojo wakes up, he goes to the bottom floor with Fire, and when they get down there, they see Dragon in the room with zombies inside the fence that is outside. Jojo then thinks of a plan and he heads to the roof with Fire behind him. When they both get to the roof, Jojo slips off the top and lands on the ground. Creator note, I should have clipped that out. I almost died. I was a half a heart. Anyways, when he looks around, he sees a zombie approaching him, so he uses his sword to kill him. Fire then says they can use the weapon since no one from inside the hotel should be able to see them. They then run to the building where Lucas was last seen, and when they get inside, all the windows are broken. They continue to kill all the zombies around the building until they both get a little overwhelmed. Jojo tells Fire to run inside the room, and when he runs into the room, Fire starts screaming. Jojo follows him and he sees Fire and Lucas fighting. Jojo breaks it up, and right after, Fire and Lucas argue. In the argument, Lucas states that he saved Fire's life, so the least he can get is a thank you, which is followed up by Fire saying he is risking his life right now trying to save him. Fire then threatens Lucas by saying if Jojo wasn't here to protect him, then Lucas would have been long gone because no one else there likes him. Out of anger, Fire runs out of the room right past the zombies, and Jojo and Lucas follow. All three of them run back to the hotel without a scratch and are completely fine. Jojo then tells Lucas he wants to talk to him on the roof, and before he heads to the roof, Jojo stops in Fire's room and tells him that he's gonna go talk to Lucas. Fire then gives Jojo some attitude and Jojo asks what's wrong. Fire says he feels a certain way because even after risking his life, Lucas didn't say thank you and he just wanted to apologize to him, but the argument they recently had kind of changed his mind. He then proceeds to say Lucas dragged things on like he always had and that he has been like this for the past 6 years. After the conversation is done, Jojo heads to the roof where Lucas is and sees Nolan and Nikki, and he politely asks them if they can just go somewhere else while he talks to Lucas. They both agree and they head down. While on the roof, Jojo tells Lucas that he needs to calm down and not to argue with Fire, like try to just stop arguing with him, and Lucas says that he's the most civil out of everyone there, and he only asked for a thank you from Fire because of what he did the night before. Lucas then also says he's saved Fire more times than he was saved by him, so he really has no idea why Fire always has an attitude with him. Jojo then says he needs to stop arguing and need to start working together because they're all stuck in a zombie apocalypse. Jojo then says even if the others don't trust Lucas, he's gonna try and help them learn how to trust him. Lucas brings up how Zolan or Dragon could have been one of the people who framed him, and that's why Nikki doesn't trust him anymore. Jojo follows up by saying it's hard to find someone to believe in this situation since he barely knows anyone, including Lucas, but his idea was to just let it all be in the past and hopefully everyone else can forget about it too. Jojo tells Lucas he's going to go into his room and rest since he hurt his legs, and Lucas gives Jojo some food that he found, and Jojo heads back to his room to go to sleep. This episode starts with Jojo in his room. Jojo walks out of his room to go to Fire's room. When he enters, he tells Fire that whatever is going on between him and Lucas, they need to chill out and calm down. Fire then tells Jojo there is something he doesn't know about Lucas. Jojo asks what it is, and Fire tells Jojo that he is gay and dated Lucas a long time ago. He then says Lucas was faking it and never was gay and he was just being played the whole time. Jojo says it's in the past and he should honestly let it go. Jojo ends the conversation by saying they should go talk it out and see what happens, which is followed up with Jojo leaving the room. When he gets on the bottom floor, Nikki, Dragon, and Zolan are waiting for him. Nikki then tells all three of them they need to kill all of the zombies around the side of the city that they are currently on. Nikki gives Jojo a weapon and sends them on their way. They all head outside and start killing every zombie they see. While doing so, they find a building which looks like it was blown up by some explosive. After killing every zombie inside, they see zombies on the mountain and in the tunnel, so they split up to kill them all. When they kill them all, they start searching all the buildings to make sure the city is clear. When Jojo enters a building, he sees a person in green hidden in the corner. The person's name is Nathan, and he explains he's seen them earlier and wanted to tag along. Jojo tells him that he's going to ask the others, and then he runs outside. When he asks both of them, Zolan and Dragon agree, and then they let him into the group. Jojo then tells Nathan about the others inside the hotel, and he even gets some info on everyone and how they act towards each other, with Dragon and Zolan saying Nikki is a little bit crazy. When they enter, Nathan meets Nikki and calls him an African American, which makes Nikki punch him. Everyone tells Nikki to calm down, and Jojo then tells everyone it looks like Nathan is a little bit scared and tells him he should just go pick a room. When Nathan heads upstairs, he accidentally runs into Fire's room. Nathan apologizes, and before he runs out the room, Fire tells him to come back, and they have a little chat about where they both came from and if Nathan is going to stay with the group or not. Before Nathan leaves, Fire says they could be good friends, and Nathan agrees, but Nathan gets really shy and just runs out of the room. This episode starts with Nikki climbing the supply building from the back and slowly making his way into the hole in the roof. When he gets there and he jumps in. Once inside, Nikki starts grabbing stuff out of the chest, saying, "Now it's time for him to get out of my hair." After he's done grabbing stuff, he opens the door and breaks the barricade and runs back into the hotel. In the morning, Jojo is asleep and is woken up by Fire saying Nikki wants everyone downstairs immediately. When they get down there, Jojo asks what happened, and Nikki says someone stole from the supply building and immediately put the blame on Lucas. Lucas starts screaming it wasn't him, and everyone except for Jojo and Nathan teams up on him and starts agreeing with Nikki. Jojo jumps in saying you can't immediately blame it on Lucas, and Fire beats up how Lucas stole from them before, so it means he did it again. Nikki then tells Lucas he needs to leave, and Jojo jumps in again saying there is no proof that Lucas did it. Lucas then hesitates and punches Nikki out of his face and starts to climb up the ladder. Jojo gets in the way and tries to calm Nikki down by saying, "Let me talk to Lucas," and Nikki tells Jojo if he doesn't get Lucas back, he's going to kill Jojo. Jojo rushes to the roof until he finds Lucas and tells him he should go back to the bottom floor. Lucas says he shouldn't and confesses that most of the things Nikki said about Lucas is true except for him killing his girlfriend. He said that he was framed and he just didn't steal that second time. Lucas also brings up if there was a vote to kick Lucas out or even kill him, it's not going to go in his favor since the only one on his side is Jojo. Jojo tries to convince Lucas to go back to the bottom floor, but Lucas says no because he's just going to run away. Lucas also tells Jojo if he doesn't want to die, he should probably leave too. He then explains if he stays, they may not like Jojo because he sided with Lucas in the situation, and Nikki is also a psycho, so staying with the group is probably the worst choice right now. Jojo ignores what Lucas said by saying Lucas should leave but stay in the city, so if something does go wrong, Jojo will go looking for him. Lucas says he's going to go back to the house they first met in, and if he gets a chance, he should beat him there. Jojo tells him alright, and Lucas just goes down the ladder from the back. When Jojo gets back to the bottom floor, he tells Nikki that he checked every room on every floor and he just couldn't find Lucas. Nikki then says that Lucas escaped and tells everyone to kill him if they ever see him again. Jojo and Zolan says that is pretty harsh, and Nikki gets in Zolan's face while Fire whispers to Jojo saying you don't want him to kill you, so just don't say anything. Dragon jumps in Nikki's face, telling him to chill out and also saying that Zolan is his best friend, so just back away. Nikki backs away from Zolan and Jojo starts talking to him, saying that he wants to go look for more supplies on the other side of the city, because if Lucas stole some, then they should just stock up on more stuff. Nikki says they should and asks Jojo and Nathan if they should just go, and Nathan follows. When they get a good distance away, Jojo tells Nathan they aren't gonna get any supplies because they're just gonna go meet up with Lucas and see what's gonna happen to him. Jojo then gives Nathan a weapon to protect himself, and when they get closer to the building, they encounter some zombies outside. They try to kill him, but it looks like a lot of them are there, so they just run into the building where Lucas is waiting. When they run in, they meet up with Lucas and show some concern with the amount of zombies they seen around before they ran in. Lucas tells Jojo he couldn't do anything about it because Nikki took his weapon a couple of days ago, and then he also explains how much of a bad person Nikki is by saying he was shot in his eye by Nikki a while ago. The reason Nikki did that is because his girlfriend died and just needed someone to blame, so he blamed Lucas. That's why Lucas wants Jojo to not stay in the group so Nikki doesn't kill anyone else since he's a psychopath. Jojo says doing that might be stupid since if he leaves he won't have supplies and numbers anymore. But then Lucas tells Jojo he doesn't have to leave yet, but if he stays he needs to watch his back no matter what. Jojo gives in and says if they are gonna leave they need to strike Nikki hard and steal everything they have. Jojo then asks Nathan if he's gonna come with the both of them and he agrees. Lucas says he can't go back because he's gonna risk being shot, and Jojo says Fire may not be on their side so they should probably just leave Fire out of their plan. Lucas agrees and says he doesn't trust him either. Jojo then starts thinking about the other problem they have, which is them having to deal with the zombies outside, and he also points out how Nathan is clearly not experienced with a weapon, so they might be screwed. Lucas says he can teach him how to swing a sword and be useful, and Jojo says he's gonna just wait outside watching to see if anyone shows up from the hotel. Lucas volunteers to be outside and Jojo goes in to help Nathan. After a while, Nikki and Fire run up to the building with Fire apologizing to Lucas, saying Nikki was gonna kill him if he didn't tell him where he was. The zombies around the building start attacking Fire while Nikki runs into the building in a fit of rage. While inside, Jojo is trying to teach Nathan when he sees Nikki run up the stairs and outside where Lucas is at. Jojo quickly runs outside and stops the fistfight between the two, which results in Nikki pulling out a crossbow in front of the three. While this is going on, a horde comes out from behind the building and Fire runs into the building across the street. Jojo tries to calm down Nikki by saying it doesn't have to be like this. Nikki ignores him and tells Jojo to break the fence next to them. When Jojo breaks the fence, he tells Lucas to stand on the edge or else he's going to shoot him. When Lucas stands on the edge, it looks like Nikki is going to push him off into the zombies, so in a split-second decision, Jojo pushes Nikki off, which saves Lucas, and Nikki falls into the huge horde under them, which tears them apart. Lucas starts screaming that the Psycho is finally dead, and Fire yells from the other side of the building, saying how is he going to get out? Jojo notices he can escape since no zombies are around Fire anymore. Lucas, Jojo, and Nathan are now trapped inside the building, so Jojo runs inside to a window and he breaks it. When he breaks it, he tells everyone to jump out, and they all do so, but they all get separated. Jojo runs to the bridge where almost every zombie follows him. He then calls out for everyone, and he hears them, but he can't see them, due to all the zombies being in his way. Jojo then runs on another bridge and sees Lucas and tells him to call everyone over. When they all meet up again, Jojo says they need to head back to the hotel to tell Dragon and Zolan what just happened. This episode starts with everyone running back to the hotel. When they get inside, Jojo sees Dragon, and Dragon walks up to them and asks where Nikki is. Lucas starts to talk, and Jojo interrupts by saying Nikki fell into a horde of zombies and died on accident. Dragon hears this and starts celebrating and shocks everyone. While celebrating, he calls Zolan down and tells him about the news, which makes Zolan start celebrating too. Once everything calms down, Fire says he needs to clean up since zombie blood is all over him. Zolan volunteers to show him a lake nearby, but before they go, Jojo stops them by saying since Nikki is gone, who's going to be the leader. Lucas suggests that Jojo should be the leader, and everyone else agrees with it. Jojo then tells Fire to hurry up because he needs to tell the whole group something since he's the new leader. Fire and Zolan run off while Jojo goes to his room. While Fire is done getting clean, Lucas shows up and asks to speak to Fire. They both run off somewhere, and Lucas apologizes to Fire about everything that has happened so far. Fire apologizes too, and they both shake on it. Lucas then tells Fire they should head back to see what Jojo wants. When they get back, they send Nathan up to Jojo to tell him that everyone is ready. When they get down there, Jojo warns everyone about the Horde and gives everyone a decision to leave or stay. He lets everyone decide what they want to do. Fire and Nathan pick stay and the rest pick the decision to leave the city. Jojo then tells everyone to collect their items while Lucas and Jojo go collect everything in the supply room. Before they check the building, Jojo tells Lucas to follow him while they check the other buildings. While Fire is in his room, Nathan walks in and starts talking to Fire about how he's a little antisocial and just wants to talk to Fire more. Fire explains to Nathan how he is gay and he also dated Lucas before. He also shows some concern by saying he doesn't want to be like Nikki and be rude to everyone, so he wants to work on that. Jojo and Lucas walk to the supply room and they loot all the chests that are inside. While looking in the chest, Lucas finds an eye patch for the eye that he doesn't have anymore. Jojo then proceeds to destroy everything inside the building and go into another one to get beds for everyone. Everyone walks outside and Fire starts building something made out of wood. Dragon is still inside the building, so Fire goes up there to get him. When Fire enters the room, he asks Dragon what's wrong and why won't he go outside with everyone else, and Dragon explains how he grew up in that city. Fire says he should go with him because he's gonna be alone if he stays, and then Dragon just follows him outside. Before they leave, Fire finishes the thing that he was building and he puts a sign on it with everyone's names on it and says they are all a dream team. Once Fire finishes the sign, they head out into the distance looking for a new city to call home. Now, before I begin this episode, I'm gonna say this episode is completely filler, which means you can skip this episode and you won't miss out on anything because literally not much happens. It's just a lot of talking. But this episode was only made for the sole purpose of just filling the episode 7 spot, but it does give info about characters that really aren't brought up later in the series. I'm still gonna recap the episode because even if it's filler, I'm not gonna skip it. It's part of the series as a whole. So starting this episode off, everyone has been walking for a long time and they are getting tired. Jojo suggests they talk to each other so they don't get bored. Zolan decides he wants to check how far away they are from the city and if he can see another city somewhere nearby. He tells everyone he doesn't see anything except for the city they just came from. They continue walking and talking about a lot of other things. Lucas asks everyone if they have any family members they think is still alive, and not many people respond to it because they honestly have no idea. Jojo then asks everyone what did they do before the zombie apocalypse. Fire starts telling everyone how he was on a plane going to New York and ended up crashing with Jojo on the island. They bring up Mr. P for a short period of time. Draken starts talking, and this is where he stutters really bad.
Yeah, 3 days before, then I took the airport to get out of California.
After that, they continue walking into the distance. They get to a flat area and Jojo suggests they should take a break and make a shelter so they can sleep for the night. Zolan climbs the mountain next to them and looks around to see if they can see a city, and surprisingly, there is nothing close to them. Jojo says that he's going to start working on a little campsite, and Fire says he's going to help him. While building the campsite, they take the whole day and they finally finish. They place all of their beds inside, and Zolan volunteers to go on watch with Dragon to make sure nothing sneaks up. The season ends with Jojo and the others going to sleep. So that basically sums up season 2 as a whole. Now all I really have to show you is just like the run times and the release dates of the episodes. Season 2 is like honestly tied for my least favorite when it comes to seasons. It's just tied with season 1. So season 1 and 2 are probably the most mid compared. Season 3 gets better, but it's still not the best. Every season, like season 4, 5, and 6, those are my favorites because those were just so fun to do, and I really like the story that I created for them. But yeah, that's all I have for the season 2 recap. The next recap will be season 3, obviously, and I'll see you guys in that video. Peace.